This broadcast is coming from the heartland of Oxford University, and our special guest today is Dan Braune Friedman, Director of Oxford Jewish Chaplaincy.
What we provide is a different side to their academic life.
Right.
They're very pressured in their tutorials that are really just sometimes a very strong academic and a few students, and they're really centered there as having their opinions really challenged. So we think we're there obviously to provide serious education, but in a much more informal way, and to really to own where they're coming from and where they are. And pastorally, I think more of the pastoral work comes informally by checking in with students at a Friday night meal, or seeing just how things are going. There's been a few occasions each year in now our fourth year where people make a time to come and sit with us. Faith is something beyond truth and not beyond truth, but beyond knowledge. And so you can't, or maybe you can try, but I think you would be a lack and a diminishing from faith if you tried to prove it. And so what I try to provide is spiritual elements and a connection to God and His Torah.
How does that manifest
through spirituality?
Itself? How does that manifest itself?
I think by being proud and unapologetically traditional and Orthodox, by creating by showing sort of a modern life that's infused and inspired by Torah, and by showing that someone could be faithful to God and faithful to His Torah, but also live in the modern world and express those values to other people, and see I think the most thing is to be proud and unapologetic about that faith, and also to be understanding of people that don't see that now or may not see it ever. I think in the end of the day, we talk a lot about outreach and kiruv and trying to bring people closer. But I also think it's important to not only reach out and bring people close, but also to be where people are at that moment. And then that may lead eventually, that understanding, to know that this is a rabbi and an educator that I can talk to at any time about anything, and to follow a path. And so later, when I may connect again to a stronger faith in God and His Torah, then that's also the rabbi that I can come to for support.
Is there any anti-Semitism here?
Yeah, I think it's one of the big surprises I've had coming from the United States to being here. I think even before anti-Semitism, there is just a difference in Jewish understanding of people, and a knowledge base of Judaism. In America, Judaism is much more centerpiece in pop culture. People know about the holidays. People know that Judaism is a major religion, even if it's a very small percentage of the population. Just as an example, there was Hanukkah usually doesn't fall during term time, but it did one year when I was here, and I asked if we could have like a Hanukkah, like a Chanukiah in some of the colleges, and the response was from very few, honestly, but enough to note it. And they said that if we had a Chanukiah in a public place, then the next day this religion would want it, and that religion would want this and that, and my response is yachinami, of course, what's the problem? I totally understand, and that what's the problem with if more come in and more, it'd be great if you walked into a college lobby and there were 5 different religions celebrated. That's what university life is about. But here there's a very strong centerpiece of the Anglican Church, and really. I would say in America you have religious inclusion and understanding. In England you have religious acceptance.
What are the challenges of being a Jewish student at Oxford University?
I think the main challenge is being proud about Judaism. Most of our students come from North London or Manchester, and they come from a place where they're very proud of their Judaism. And here, they're much more, smaller fish in a bigger sea. And I think most of them almost want to break from being in that bigger sea, in that big North London sea, or the smaller pool, whatever. And so a lot of them don't even see it as a challenge, really. They're very happy to for the first time, really be just British and just at Oxford. Other students, I think, do feel like they're drowning a little bit and do feel a lack of the Jewish supports. And still others, maybe not even from North London, but just the wider spectrum of what I see as a challenge, and I think Judaism would see as a challenge, is that here, again, people see faith as a definition of being religious and being identified as Jewish. So again, in America, by comparison, people are very happy identifying as Jewish, but not practicing at all, not even believing in God. Whereas here, someone would not call themselves Jewish. Someone would refer to their Jewish parents before referring to themselves. And so here we have, I would say, maybe 300. We have about 500 Jews that are somewhat affiliated. I would say there are at least 300 more that are closeted about their Judaism, and we find them every so often.
Really?
It's very difficult because they don't even sign up to the Jewish lists. Jewish life is all about what you make it, what you can do. Certainly, we have chaplains, all over the country now, and we really,
but obviously, your role is totally essential, because if it wasn't, the job your vocation wouldn't have been created.
No, of course. I mean, what we're trying to do is give it extra, really enhancing that Jewish experience. So you could, the Union of Jewish Students give a lot of support from a central place in empowering students to create Shabbat and to create education, and all that could happen. But we really we provide professionals in many more regions, and we provide not only education but also pastoral counseling on a professional level. So where I think there's a good model that UJS provides, I think the input of chaplaincy really provides that extra support, and I don't want to discount also other organizations. All the denominations have chaplains, but Chabad and the Jewish Learning Exchange and Aish, all of these organizations also add their own unique additions to the process. Chaplaincy, I think, is also unique in that whereas almost any of the denominations, or even within Orthodoxy, there is a certain mission that they have I'd say it, and I don't think they would deny it, although maybe they would. They want to provide that kind of their own take. Chaplaincy really is the mission without a mission. What we provide is Jewish support from an Orthodox bent in a sense, but really, our support really is without strings, and without any kind of goal to even influence someone's experience. We want to be there on the Jewish journey where they are in their Jewish journey. And the only push we really, I think I give, and maybe my colleagues in chaplaincy would also give, is that we want to push students to be on that journey. But wherever they are, we're on that journey at that place, and not ahead or behind them.
Would you say Oxford is a great place if one is obviously got the merit to come to Oxford? Is this a great place for a Jewish student to come? Yeah,
I think it's a great place. If you're certain people, there are certain sort of Jew universities, certain major capitals of Judaism on university life. You have Leeds and Manchester, Nottingham, Birmingham, all great places. If you're an Oxford student, then really either Oxford or Cambridge are great places to go. At Oxford, we have a meal service every night of the week, except for Sunday. We have a meal here for students, subsidized meal that Hillel subsidizes in addition to the Oxford Jewish Center. And we have a vibrant JSOC and a chaplaincy and Chabad and various things. So I think a lot of people do look at Cambridge in Oxbridge, but we often see that when people actually look into it and they take the time to come here, they see that really both are viable options, and both can not only provide Jewish needs, but also enhance someone's Judaism.
Okay, thanks ever so much for your time.
Sure.
Thank you for joining Jewish Online Magazine.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.